Hello, good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting shortly, just a few more minutes. If you have any questions or suggestions, please put it in the chat box or Q&A. While we are waiting, do we have state nodal officers from any state here? If they can write in the chat box. Dr. Kashmir Singh, yes, Haryana. Any other state nodal officer join? Okay. To Palash. Okay, so welcome to all. We will go through the surveillance on IHIP portal. Before I start, I wanted to remind state nodal officers, if they have joined, that this is the time that they should think about and start implementing that action plan, state action plan on climate change and human health. If you remember if you have approved action plan, you see there is a chapter on heat. And this is the time to reevaluate your action plan and implement it, and prepare your spending. Let me see. Budget and all those things should be in the place. Mr. Naveen, is the chat disabled? Some participants are not able to put in the chat. Okay, maybe now it will work.
Okay, now it is enabled.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Nyan, I think it is enabled now. So just wanted to remind you again, just look at your heat health action plans. There is the chapter in your state action plan on climate change and human health, and start activities on printing IEC or plan how you will disseminate your IEC, and training of surveillance, and capacity building activities. So we have the training modules that are approved. We have old videos that are already available on YouTube, so you can take help of all those things. And I am putting a link sorry, in the chat box one more time. Let me see. Google Drive link is there. So there you can find all the materials that we have shared before, including training materials, surveillance guidelines, action plan, SAP CCH template. I think it will be also there. So you can use this and start activities, because I think we are expecting it to be more hotter this year compared to last year, considering that this year there will be El Nino probably phenomena. So it might be hotter earlier. So that is what my request was before we go to surveillance. If you have any questions, please type or raise your hands and I will take it at the end. So to make it quick, I will start with the Excel format that you all might be familiar with, that we have been using since last 2 years. So I will share that here with you first and go through the IHIP platform, so it will be easier to understand where we are. Okay, so I will share. Okay. So if you remember, we have our surveillance starts from PHC level and up. So first of all, data collection happens at the health facility level. And there are 2 forms that a health facility level will fill up. So let me see. So this is form 1A that health facility fill up. Here they will put all the information about the facility, put the date of reporting. They will circle the facility, and then if you see here on the row number 9, which A, total number of patients in the department, that is either casualty, emergency medicine or pediatrics, whichever unit is pertinent to that health facility, they have to make a total outpatient, a total OPD in that emergency unit, and they have to make a total of it in the space given here. Then there is a line list that they have to write, that is for daily line list of suspected heat stroke cases at the health facility. So they will put name, age, gender, address, whether the person is admitted, died, referred or recovered. So this is the first form they fill up. The fill up duration, so you are filling up the form. If you are filling today, it will be from yesterday's 8 AM to today's 8 AM. So you have to particularly make sure that health facility will fill up this form for patients who are reported between 8 AM yesterday to 8 AM today. So this is a very different from other disease surveillance. And other information that they might need in terms of guidance, that is available in standard operating procedure in this Excel sheet itself. This was the case data collection form. Now, if we go to 1B, so this is another health facility level format, but this is for deaths. So what we are reporting here is line list of deaths that are suspected heat stroke deaths and confirmed CVD deaths. So again, you put name, age, gender, person's address, and whether it is suspected heat stroke death or confirmed CVD deaths. And in number 9 here in the row, you can see total deaths you have to report from the facilities. So that will be total of all the deaths in casualty, emergency medicine and pediatrics that you are reporting here. So this is a form 1B, 1A, 1B, both are for health facility, one for case, another for deaths. Once the health facility fill up this form, they will combine this data into another form that is called format 2. That will be for health facility to send data to district level day wise. So here it will be easier. They will just total the previous forms and put total number of OPDs here. New cases that are reported for that day from yesterday 8 AM to today's 8 AM. And then they will fill up total heat stroke cases from 1st March. So here they will be putting cumulative numbers. Then if you come in the section of death, number of suspected heat stroke deaths that happened in the last 24 hours, the number of confirmed deaths, number of others including unknown deaths, and then you make total of it. So A, B, and C, that covers all the deaths in the health facility, and you put that total here. So that completes the first form, very basic level of form that gives all the data that we need up to national level. So once the health facility fills up this form properly, the next is all about data transmission. So this is the form 2. And again, the guidance is also provided on the right side with all the definitions. So if I remember correctly, last year, many states did not report anything on this surveillance. And many states also reported in the old format, which was a weekly format. And that format did not contain any OPD admissions or all-cause deaths. So I request all the states, district nodal officers and trainers to make understand this format, which is very different from very old format, which was a weekly, and it was a totally different format. So please make sure that you use this. These formats are also available in our national action plan on heat-related illnesses. That is also shared in the link and also on our web page. Okay, so now I will move to next level of form. That is our from district to state level. So just a minute. So this form, now you can see on the screen, is for compilation at the district level. So district will receive a health facility wise report that they will compile every day. And then once that is compiled for all the facilities, they will put the total of that day into 3B form. Okay, so here you see all the data is compiled into one row for that particular date from yesterday's 8 a.m. to today's 8 a.m. and the data will be added here. Now this form will also include confirmed history of deaths, because most of the death investigations happen at the district level in the state, where there is a 3-member committee and where the district is in charge of investigating that death. So that is why we have added confirmed history of deaths here. Whenever they are confirmed, they just put the total number of that and they send the report, do detailed report of that death. In the states where confirmation is not done by 3-member committee, because some states do not consider heat as a disaster yet. So in that case, a suspected heat stroke death should be investigated with the form that we are providing. That is also I will show, and that form should be filled up by a medical officer or a district epidemiologist. And so it is a very detailed form, and whenever that form is completed, you will get a conclusion whether it is confirmed heat stroke or not. And then you submit the form and also put the number as 1 death confirmed, and then there is a cumulative here. So that is the part that is added at the district level. Once this form is completed, we were also expecting the district level we conduct analysis of the data with the temperature and humidity. But with the development of IHIP portal, we will be able to merge that functionality into the portal. However, we request that you know how, like, use when the dashboard is available, you check and observe it routinely, and so you can see if the data is coming correctly and how it is increasing or decreasing with the temperature in your district, and take decisions on how to respond to the health impact. Next, I will go to the state level form. Okay, so this is the state level form. So state will compile the data every day from the different districts. So each row represents a different district, similar data aggregated, and then they will submit it to the central level by 5 or 6 o'clock. So if you are compiling data today at health facility at around consider 8 or 10 or 11 o'clock, it should be sent by district by 12, and district should be compiling by the afternoon and send it to the state, and state should be compiling it by the evening and send it on the around 5 or 6 o'clock. So the data that it is received by us should be from last 8 a.m. to today's 8 a.m. But with IHIP, it is going to be easier. So whatever data is entered in the health facility will directly be in the portal. So this is that. And then again, state level analysis that are expected for the state level officers to understand how the state is performing or what are the problems and which districts are reporting more heat stroke or how it is progressing with time. So that is the overview of the format that we have been using since last 2 years. Now I will show you the conversion into IHIP portal. However, we are only accepting aggregate data for now. So the line list needs to be completed at health facility level still in the Excel format or paper format and kept it with them until we start patient level data entry in the IHIP portal. So we want to transition slowly. So we are only accepting aggregate data, and eventually we will accept all the line list data in 1 month or 1.5 months when everything is settled on your end and we see that aggregate data is entered nicely, properly, without any issues. So I will show you that now. Here. Okay. So right now I'm showing you on the learning platform. So if you see, this is the login page that you see when you go to the health programs, IHIP. Now it is activated for NPCCHH. In actual production server, like actual portal where you are entering the data of IDSP, this link is already activated. So when you will go there to start surveillance on March 1st, it will be there. People will be entering data through P-form login IDs, that is for health facility. So they don't have to have another ID. That's the same ID will work, separate link, and the data entry will be possible by medical officers or whoever is entering data at the health facility level in that facility. So once you enter the link, you go to form and you see the format here. So first thing you see in the format is patient level data entry and aggregate data entry. There are two options. For now, as I said, we will only open aggregate data entry, and patient level data entry will be default not open. It will be closed to enter patient level data entry. That is why health facility will keep recording the data with them in the paper or Excel format. So now aggregate data mein, if we come here, if you are reporting today, make sure that the numbers you enter are for yesterday's 8 a.m. to today's 8 a.m. And what are you entering here is emergency medicine OPD total number. So I have entered 25 in my facility. Then emergency pediatrics OPD total number, I had 0 patients. In casualty OPD, I had 12 patients over last 24 hours. And it will automatically make a total of 37. Okay. Now we are entering, so this is the general emergency OPD's number. And then in cases, we have to enter suspected heat stroke case. So whichever number is there, you enter 0. If it is not there, 10, whatever number is there. But make sure you enter 0 because that it is required that you enter 0, and we should know that there is no heat stroke cases. So whichever is applicable, and if it is not available, I mean, if the patients are not there, 0 patients are there, then please put 0. Don't just keep it empty, or don't forget to send it even zeros. Now in terms of deaths, we have suspected heat stroke deaths. So if a patient came with her suspected heat stroke and the patient died before you conclude that it was actually heat stroke, then it is suspected heat stroke death. Then confirmed cardiovascular deaths and other including unknown deaths. So confirmed deaths, if it is confirmed, you put here, otherwise it will be 0. And all that you enter here, it will automatically make a total here for total deaths in the health facility. Okay, and then you submit. So it will go like this and it will save the data successfully. And you will see all the case definitions here. So medical officers should know what are they entering. And I would like to make sure, and please remember that we do not want confirmation of heat stroke cases. Only these three things should be there for medical officer to mention it as a suspected heat stroke case and enter its numbers. So you see here, and altered mental status, including disorientation, delirium, seizures, obtundation with elevated temperature, which is measured is more than 40 or in Fahrenheit 104, without signs of stroke, infection, or medication overdose. Or if the temperatures are not being able to measure, then hot and dry skin and deranged vitals. Only these three things, if they are present without signs of stroke and other things, then the medical officer can count as a one suspected heat stroke case. So we do not want to wait them and report us after they do all the medical tests or other tests and then tell us the report. Make sure that you report suspected case, not confirmation. So this is what I wanted to convey, because I have seen in some facilities when I visited that they wait for patient to get better and then conduct all the tests and then they report is a suspected, but it is not actually suspected at that point. It is confirmed. So we do not want that. We want to start when the patient just comes, and these are the only things that you should see. And in confirmed heat stroke, that you have to conduct the investigation, as I said. And in cardiovascular deaths, you include all the cardiovascular deaths that are confirmed as cardiovascular deaths. So these are the case definition handy there. So please make sure medical officers are aware and use that. Now I will just show you what the patient level data entry look like. When it starts, it will include the other line list information that we are collecting at health facility. So when it opens, you will see this. This is the format. You must have seen this before in IHIP, but there are some changes. So in the demographics form, you see there is addition of socioeconomic card. So you can select here any card that is applicable. Then you have to select the last occupation of the patient, and you select whatever is relevant. And in other options, you can also type. Then you come here in diagnosis. Only two diagnoses you are required to enter: suspected heat stroke and confirmed cardiovascular. So we'll take suspected heat stroke. We enter date of onset, OPD, IPD, date of emergency visit, time of emergency visit, status, the date of reporting. Either the patient is admitted when you report, died, referred, or recovered. Whether he has history of heat exposure or heat stress, yes or no. And if the patient improved after hydration and cooling, yes or no. So this is a very simple form which you will be able to save just like here. But in case patient is died, then there is a separate section that will open up so that you can enter whether it is confirmed or not. So we are going to our next case definition. So if it is confirmed, then you provide this information, whether the person was found unconscious or dead, and when, which place he was found dead, and which was the location where he found dead. So you fill up all the data, and then time of death. And this is the form that you can download. I will show you later. It is a PDF format. You can conduct the death investigation form with a 3-member committee or by medical officer and epidemiologist. And when it is completed, signed, authorized, you can upload it here, the same form, and you select and upload it. So that will take care of investigation. So this was suspected heat stroke case. If it is not confirmed, you can also put heat stroke is not confirmed, and whatever comes up is in this section, and you fill it up. So 3 case definitions we are included: suspected heat stroke case, suspected heat stroke death, and confirmed heat stroke deaths. All 3 will be part of only this form, and when it is entered properly, there will maybe a line list here. Okay, and then the second is cardiovascular confirmed death. I will ask you guys questions after I finish. I know some people have raised hands. So cardiovascular confirmed, similar kind of information is required. Death is all, we are only taking deaths. So you just have to input information on deaths, and it is very simple. And then again, it will make a line list here. So this is the whole format. All the formats combine in one page. So when we start patient level entry, you will medical officer needs to enter those information here. For now, for the month of March, you will be starting with only aggregate data entry. Okay. So after data entry, you are familiar with how the reports looks like. So once you enter data, you can see the health facility reporting is here. Reporting status summary is here. Okay, so all that you can see. Now for current training and rolling out of this surveillance, we have dummy time. So you can use that for, train other people and roll out this training. So this is that. Now I will try to show you the dashboard, which will be also visible after March, how the data will look with the dashboard. So let me see. Okay. So when you see dashboard, it will look like this, and it will be in the heat map. I think it is taking some time. Okay. So it is similar to the other dashboards, but you see, we need to see how disease has progressed, showing the cumulative heat stroke cases and confirm deaths that has happened during the time duration that you select. So if I select September, and because we have entered some dummy data, you will be able to see some information. So this is between the September 1st and December, and you can see this many heat stroke cases were there, and total emergency patients were this many, and you can see the percentage of heat stroke cases among total emergency outpatient cases. Similarly, for deaths during that duration, you can see all cause deaths were 7,000, and out of that 66% were suspected heat stroke. The most recent temperature, you see the temperature for the last date that is selected here during that duration with the location of the temperature, the highest maximum and highest minimum. This is a dummy data, so I think this is wrong, but it's fine. You can also see these on the map by the color coding. You can see where the cases are high, more and less, and you can also select different cases here, case definitions, and you see on the map accordingly. And these are the temperatures in the yellow color. So they should give you a country. This is for country level data, but you can also see at the state and district level. So this will go up to a district level. You can see here at the state level. And on the right side, you can see the different time analysis. So you see daily changes in the cases and weather parameters. So weather parameters will come in the line when it is integrated completely. Different deaths side by side, and different then emergency OPD and all cause deaths. So this graph should give you a better idea of how your district or state is performing, how many cases they are seeing, and how is your temperature going. So if I can see here. Yeah. So because we do not have data for all the dates right now, it's the dummy data, so you can't see, but in the summer you will be able to see the complete picture. And this is the monthly graph, monthly 3 months graph, overall pattern you will be able to see there. So let me see, Dr. Mir, which district we should show for temperature, where the temperature is visible?
You can show Guntur, madam.
But it's not showing, no? एक minute.
Hit the search button, yes.
Yes. But this temperature.
Yeah, it is coming.
Okay.
Yeah, it is showing now. You have to hover on
No,
the. You have to hover on it. Yes.
No temperature lines in the graph. Maybe I should select something else. Let's see the time frame. I'll change. Let's see if we can see. Wait. The temperature is not.
No, you'll have to show from 1 January 2023.
Okay. Okay, let's see.
And search, yes.
January.
To current date, yes.
I don't see temperatures still. The temperature part, the lines are not visible for temperature. Maybe I should select Bangalore. Let me see. So here you can see the temperature and humidity lines. Yeah, so when the case health data and temperature data will all be merged, you will be able to see the progression of the cases and deaths like this. And this is for a 3-month scale. So it will be easier to understand the impact and plan your activity. So you can see it daily. You can also see it weekly, how the week-wise performance, the impact is, and how monthly it is visible. So that all you can see up to district level. So this is the thing. And then other than the dashboard, you can see reporting is a visualize the reporting, how it is going on over the time. You can also see in the map and in the table that you are doing, you are already seeing in IDSP. So this thing at state or district level, they can download for further analysis and understanding for all the variables that we collect. And then there is a patient level data. When the line list will start getting entered, then we will have that line listing data from the whole table, and it will allow us to analyze those things. So, so this is the whole thing that has been coming up. And should be ready by March 1st for you to start. The training is done by that time. Let me share the information of training that access and okay. Okay, some questions are there. Cardiovascular deaths or cerebrovascular? It's cardiovascular deaths. Dr. Kadri has asked, it is cardiovascular deaths, sir. Okay, any other person? Anyone else? There were some hands raised. No. Okay, so let me go through presentation and other aspects that I wanted to cover. I will just cover shortly. So I have showed everything that we need to learn in terms of IHIP platform, but I'll just go to some basic things that you can share with when you go and train. So all the states in India and India itself has seen rise in the temperature, and none of the state is left without like they all have experienced rise in temperature more or less in the last few years. So either it is Andaman or Goa or Gujarat, any northeastern states, central states or coastal states, they all have seen rise in temperature. We have seen very bad summer last year where we started heat, we experienced heat wave in the March, like one of the hottest March in the recorded history of meteorological department, and many heat waves in April and May and all, and it is only going to increase over time. So the purpose of surveillance is to have continuous data collection, analysis and interpretation for planning and implementation purposes. So make sure the data collection is every day from March 1st to July 31st, regardless of outside temperature or rain or anything. What we need to, why we need surveillance is to understand how many people are affected, what is the burden of disease and mortality in the population, how better we can plan, where the more information, more prioritize of resources are required, health facilities needs to be ready, and then to evaluate what we have done over the summer, whether it reduced morbidity and mortality or not. So all these things we can get from surveillance. And it is not only us. NDMA also requires our data because they are the responding agency to disaster, and they do a lot of planning and preparedness at the state level. Many of you might know the district collector, revenue officers, and SDMA officers are they prepare and review these activities, and they also require this health data, and they depend on us to show them where the impact is or where it is affecting the most. Now, these are the parameters that we will be following. Again, daily reporting from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. 23 heat vulnerable state. But once we are on IHIP, all the states are required to send data. PSC and above. Reports offline, that this will not be required on email now, that once we are on IHIP properly. And it is mandatory reporting, even 0 should be reported. Okay, now you all know, you have seen this. This is the spectrum of HRI illnesses from mild to moderate and to severe. And our body temperature is very limited to short frame of temperature from 36.8 to 0.4 degree. And believe it or not, if we get enough heat, we all are susceptible to heat stroke. So that we should remember. Now that this we went through, I told you that suspected heat stroke cases, death and confirmed deaths are part of our surveillance. This I would like to convey. So many people, when I visit them or meet them during the workshop, they said that my state is not a heat prone state. Why should I report heat stroke cases and deaths? Why should I care? Why should I prepare? So these are some of the points that I would like to convey, and for you to remember that everybody can be at risk of heat even though you are in a colder region. And why? So first is acclimatization. So when we get exposed to heat over time, slowly, and we work in the hot environment, our body will adapt. It is physiological adaptation to heat, where our cardiovascular system will become better to deal with the hot environment. So, for example, a tourist who is coming from colder region to hotter region, or people who are having already comorbidities, which are not able to manage their cardiovascular responses, or people who live in air conditioning all the time, their bodies are not very well versed with the hot temperature, and they are not tolerant to that. So their bodies will incur heat stress. Similarly, historically, not heat prone regions like Himalayan regions, people are not habituated with the heat, and they also get heat stress develop in their bodies fast. And it is according to IPCC and other reports, it is predicted that rise in the temperature in the mountainous region will be faster than the plain regions. So that is another thing that you should remember, that the Himalayan regions might be heating up faster. Then I will go to second point. Accumulation of heat stress. So it is not only like 45 or 46 degrees will cause you heat stress or heat stroke. Many times 35 degrees Celsius temperature with 70% humidity or 80% humidity will also cause much more heat stress than 46 degree of dry air, because when humidity is high, we are not able to perspire. So that will cause body to heat up faster. And it is also relevant in terms of urban heat island effect, where hot temperature stays throughout the night, and the nights are not cool enough for all of us to cool down. So continuously heat we will be exposed to, and that will incur heat stress. So when in Western countries, many of the people die in the heat waves, this is the reason, because continuous heat will be there and they will not be able to cool off. Either they do not have cooling, or in many Western countries they have not seen this heat and they don't have fan or things. So at that time they are affected by that. Mortality displacement is another phenomena, that even temperature does not reach to heat wave level. Many people die who are already frail, and so their death is brought earlier because of the heat exposure, and so they die at moderate temperatures, but that mortality is visibly higher than usual trend of mortality. So that is one thing you should remember. And that is why we do not wait for heat wave to be declared to do surveillance. Surveillance is ongoing activity. You measure the death even at 35 degree, at 40 degree, at 41 degree, 45 degree, 46 degree, any temperature in the summer, we still measure and collect data on health, because that will give us a graph like this, which is very relevant for planning of actions. So this is from Ahmedabad. Mortality curve. Each dot represents a number of deaths in that day, a particular day, and the temperatures that was recorded in that day. So you can see that IMD will declare heat wave at 45 or 46 degrees, but mortality has already increased at 41 degrees. You can see the rise is happening. That is why we have included all-cause mortality in our surveillance, so we can see at what temperature the population is getting affected. And believe me, this graph is not same for all the cities and all the districts. Many, all the places are very specific. All the population is very different. So each city and district will have a different kind of graph where the mortality peaks at a particular temperature. So this is what we have also mentioned in SAP-CCH, that state and district should, help or encourage cities to work on this, getting this kind of graph and threshold for action. So this will identify like 41 पे आपको IEC करना है, 43 पे आपको IEC का intensity बढ़ा देना है. So all these actions are based on this kind of health data. And this is one more thing that highlights the cardiovascular diseases. So as you all know, heat strokes are not the only deaths that are occur by heat, but now we say it heat stroke, but heat causes all these different deaths because it affects cardiovascular function, metabolic function, renal function, and even respiratory function. So if we see, cardiovascular cause is the most common cause of death that increases in the hot days, and following that it is respiratory, and many Western countries, they have reported increase in respiratory deaths and also kidney related deaths when the heat increases. So as research says that each 10 Fahrenheit degree increase in temperature will lead to 2.6 degree increase in cardiovascular mortality. That is why we have included that, and also all cause mortality. Okay. Okay, you are not seeing slides. Oh, okay, that's bad. Sorry, I didn't realize. Okay, I'll go through. Now you can see, right? Just go through. This is the temperature stripes for all the states. This is the thing I talk about heat last year. You can see it is all dark red. I will share this PPT here also just after I finish, so you can all get this. This is where I mention about acclimatization, accumulation of heat stress, and mortality displacement. This is where I talk about graph of temperature and mortality, which you can see 41 degree, it starts increasing. And here I talk about cardiovascular deaths, each 10 degree increase yeah, here in cardiovascular deaths, each 10 degree increase will lead to 2.6 degree rise in cardiovascular mortality. Other things I have already covered. I just have few little things, and if you can, play along with me or just go through this. So there is a data entry person, and he says that I will when I see mosquitoes around me. Do you think that is right? Your surveillance, regardless of which season you are in. Now here one data entry person says I will only report COVID data when I see people coughing around me. You know, that is also not a report HI data when there is hot outside. So that's not right. We need to report this data, rain or shine, from March 1st to July 31st. And that will give us a complete picture of how heat impacts at lower level or higher level or with the humidity. And here I have just, the speed is very low here. Internet speed is very low. Sorry. The slides are not moving. Let me see. I'm just sharing you this